A line of storms is going to be moving through the Great Plains in the Midwest. That will be bringing severe weather through the middle of the work week. Right now across the United States, it's really relatively quiet besides the central plains over here and a little bit of the southwest. We do have tornado watches through upper Missouri and severe thunderstorm watches over here in Oklahoma and northern Texas. We do have a little cluster of thunderstorms in the Kansas City and stuff that will be eventually kind of forming into a little line that will be moving through the plains and the Midwest. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's weather video. And right now we do have a little French fry. I don't know if I would call it really a French fry unless you want to call it like a thick one, a steak French fry. But we do have a slight risk for northern and north central Texas. Most centralized Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, kind of what we kind of had yesterday, where it was like central Missouri that went kind of up into the Quad Cities. Again, we do have that marginal risk of severe weather kind of going from Michigan all the way down to central and possibly southern Texas, with the damaging wind threat being our biggest threat with a 15% chance of damaging winds within our pre-existing slight risk, with that 5% chancing with our pre-existing marginal risk. Most of our hail is really going to happen over here in north central Texas, into central Oklahoma, a little bit of southwest Missouri, and southeast Kansas. And our tornado risk isn't really confined anywhere to be like a 5% chance. All this line of thunderstorms are going to have a 2% chance, as we could have possible embedded tornadoes. For tomorrow or Wednesday, we have a mess of severe weather I have to talk about. Over here in the Great Lakes and possibly Ohio Valley, we could be seeing some severe weather. Even over here in New Mexico and Texas and southern Colorado, we could be seeing some severe weather too. There's not really a confined risk again. It's just like they place a bunch of blobs of severe weather possibilities, but I'm sure this is probably going to get fixed by tomorrow. For day 3, they have already put a slight risk of severe weather for the northern panhandle of Texas and the northern half of Oklahoma and kind of the central part of Kansas. Now, for this evening and tonight through overnight, those thunderstorms are going to be moving through Kansas City and through the rest of Kansas. And then as we continue kind of to the overnight hours or very late evening hours, those storms are going to be forming into a much more linear line, moving through Oklahoma City into Joplin, Missouri. That will be eventually moving through, St. Louis and other towns like Tulsa as well. Probably will eventually will be moving to Little Rock, but it's not going to be as severe tomorrow morning as we have seen in the past. Now, the stuff will probably weaken and then it'll probably just dissipate, or at least dissipate into less severe thunderstorms, but this will be a late evening / overnight thing. So beware for nocturnal tornadoes as well, with also damaging winds and as well as hail. Now, make sure that if you have a weather radio that it's on, maybe turn up your TV as well. Have your phone also have alerts too, so you always know. Otherwise, you won't be able to wake up, and it probably will be too late for you. Now, for excessive rainfall or flooding, we have 3 different areas of it over here and kind of around the Grand Canyon. We could be seeing a slight risk of rainfall. Even over here in southern Florida, we could be seeing some rain as well and possible flooding as well. And then over here with our line of storms, we do kind of have that slight risk through north central Texas, Oklahoma, eastern half of Kansas, most of Missouri, up into the Quad Cities. Now, day 2, there's not really a confined slight risk of flooding, but, they could always upgrade it in 3 different areas. We just kind of have 3 different areas of a marginal risk of flash flooding, but, it still could happen. Now, what kind of rainfall can we be seeing until, about Thursday of this week? Well, over here in kind of like the line of storms that we've been talking about, we could see probably pockets up to 5 inches of rain over here, especially Missouri in Illinois. Even down here in the Texas and Oklahoma, we could be still seeing, a couple, like 1 to 2 inches of rain. Areas could see, maybe an isolated 3 or even 4 inches of rain. This will even extend over up here into Canada, But also Michigan might be able to see in that rain, and especially with Florida down here, we could be seeing, areas could be seeing up to 6 inches, up to 8. So Florida, especially that region with Florida, flooding easily could get really bad. And then over here by, like, Arizona, New Mexico, we could be seeing pockets of an inch or two of rain. So we're probably not going to see as much rain over here, but that is why they put that slight risk chance of flooding. Talk about climate as there have been changes to it. So right now for the next week, most of the country will be seeing warmer than average temperatures, but actually a lot of people too might be in the near normal average, which is good, and maybe even a couple million of people might even be in a little bit of below average temperature situation. But otherwise, most of the country is probably going to be above average, and that correlate will go into effect throughout the next week or two with all the country either in the near normal average or above average temperatures. For precipitation, it's really, really anywhere east of the Rockies will be seeing wetter than average temperatures. Really only the areas that are going to be, drier than average are going to be the Pacific Northwest near Washington and Oregon. So, less precipitation will cause droughts. Over here, especially in the East Coast, we've been having a lot of rain this summer already, so you're expected to probably see more than average out the next week or two. Now, within the next week or two, again, it's kind of like it's like either it's near normal average precipitation, which is good, or a little bit wetter than average precipitation, which is, a little bit fine, but a little bit of rain wouldn't hurt. Could be at the end of the weather video today. If you guys would make sure to like and subscribe and share with friends and family or other people, make sure you do that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.